What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ask Philip, aka the DM Zone, aka sliding into my DMs, where I get a lot of random questions about money, life, and all sorts of stuff that I really shouldn't be getting asked about. Be that as it may, this is the time where I actually answer them. So let's get right into it. What's the first question? With the rising number of skilled people, how do you differentiate yourself? It's kind of like a vague, broad question, but I can tell you one way that you will always stand out. And it got me thinking because somebody wrote me, I think it was this morning, he says, please give me a job. I am really hungry. I am really eager to work. And you know, when you are going through school, you're told and taught that you get this education, you can get this job, and you can make this money. And no one really bothers to tell you that the way that you actually get to earn money is by adding value to an employer. The employer is not there to bankroll your lifestyle. The employer is there to make money for the enterprise, and then it will hire people or invest in the things, materials, whatever, that can help it make even more money. So you got to figure out how you fit into that larger motivation of the enterprise. Now, there could be somebody that could be way smarter than you, way better than you, way more skilled than you, but if they're only me all the time, they're not going to last long. But if you come in there with an open mind and you understand the conundrums of the business owner, you understand the challenges and what they're dealing with, and you figure out how to plug yourself into that. Let me give you an example. Somebody said to me, I had posted a job for a particular, I think it was for design, and people are talking about how good they are. I only want to know that you can do what I need to do. I don't care what other skills you have. I only care that you can solve the problem that I have. Now, somebody said, hey, I saw you're doing this. How about you do this? I can also do that. Now you're showing me how you add value to me. You're not telling me, and you're not doing it from the through the lens of what can I do for you? Because in that context, who cares what I can do for you? What can you do for the company? What can you do for the business, for the employer that's listing the job? So short answer, just make sure you understand the needs of the business and you can figure out how to add value just from a simple philosophical standpoint that'll make you stand out from 90% of people out there. So that's probably the best advice I can give you. One of the things, and that's awesome. One of the things that I see a lot of times is people tend to skip steps. Now, when I use this example all the time. When you're in school, you go to first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade. If you're a really, really smart kid, you might skip a grade. You're not going to skip two. And if you try to, you're going to be set back. It's just the natural course of things you have to follow in order. Typically, right? Again, even if you're a genius, you don't go from first, third, seventh grade, and 10th grade. It just doesn't happen. So a lot of people approach life with that absence of patience or that respect for the process, right? And whenever you try to move too fast, life will reset you just like how school would. If you try to skip grades too fast, skip a class or a grade too fast, you'll be reset to where you're supposed to be. Life will calibrate you for you, right? So what I would say is if you have one, figure out how to run that, then get another. Get that squared away, then get another. And before you know it, you'll have a lot. Now, the way I started was I started with a 3-family, then I bought a couple more then I went into a 3-unit with a commercial component on the ground floor. Then I went and got the rights to build 10 units. And then from there, just to break it down simple, go to 3, to 4, and then maybe 10, and then you can continue to escalate from there. Some people go right into the 100-unit range, and again, you know, that's, for me, I like to progress fast but intelligently and without going into territory where I don't know and I don't know what I'm doing. Does that make sense? So what I say for you is just get one, then get another. You can refinance that one, take the equity, the cash that you have from once you pay off your own loan and the balance left over, you can use that as a down payment for a new property. Do the same thing. Maybe do a slightly larger property. Only thing you have to keep in mind, if you're doing a with 4 the cap is 4 units with FHA, meaning you can put down 3.5%. If you go larger than that, you have to get a regular mortgage where you have to put down 20 to 25%. So just keep this in mind. But may not be that big of a task if you're doing the first 1 or 2 right, where you have enough equity where you can put that down, and next thing you know, you're in the big game, man. And then you got your multiple, you got at least 1 8+ unit. So that's how we'll go about it. And thank you. I appreciate that. Congratulating my tech building. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, so thank you, number one. In the midst of that, what I'm seeing is you sold a condo and you paid off all debt, which means you're really well positioned to go out and do something, do your next deal. One thing that I would say is a condo or single family house is probably one of the worst, I won't say worst investments, but it is, compared to a multifamily property, is like night and day. Because at the end of the day, a single family property or a condo is a collector's item, meaning you can only get for it what someone is willing to pay. And people go, yeah, of course, but wait a minute here. If you have a property with multiple apartments in it, you can then derive a value of the asset from the money that it generates. A single family house doesn't make money for you. It costs you money to have. Now, I get it if you rent it out to one person, it's making money for you, but guess what? You're exposed to vacancy, meaning that if that one person leaves, you go from 100% occupied to 0% occupied, and now you have to pay out of your pocket to hold the asset. Anything that you have to pay money to hold, probably not too good. So what I'm seeing here is that you got that sold, you paid off your debt, and now you're really, as I said, well positioned to go out there and buy a multifamily property. And then through that, you can unlock equity that you then can go get your dream home with. Does that make sense? Just go through that, a deal or two, and then you can go out and get your dream house. Again, I call it dinner before dessert, and that's a perfect example of that. So you've gone through the process of buying and saving and this and that and the other. So you're really light years ahead of where I was when I started. So you can definitely go out there and do that and just get the next multifamily and off to the races, and then get your dream house in 2 years. Totally attainable. But yeah, you can join Tribe Plus, but honestly, you already have what it takes. So just go for it. And that's all from me. Thank you guys for watching Bold Business. If you want me to answer your question or slide into my DMs, just do it at YFWTB or at Bold TV. And if you got a good question, we might just throw it up on a big screen and answer it right here live in the living color. Until next time, I'm out of here. Peace.